Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. What I've been working on, and I started this one in August of this year, and it's now the middle of November, so it's taken me a long time to get this one done. Is the ICM 148 scale HE 117Z-1, the Zwilling, the World War II German glider tug. This plane was designed out of necessity, really. The Luftwaffe were building the HE 321 Gigant glider, but realised they didn't have a plane powerful enough to tow it. So what they did was they first of all tried towing that monster into the air with three Messerschmitt BF-110s, but that was really risky, and only highly trained pilots were allowed to take that operation. So what they did was they actually took two HE-111s and joined them together, as you can see here. So it became quite a powerful aircraft to tow the Gigant glider. It saw action mostly in Eastern Europe, I understand, although watching some videos on YouTube I saw that they also saw some limited operational use on the Western Front in France. Comes in a massive box. You can see here how deep it is, and then inside that, in ICM fashion, you have boxes like this one, which we've decided to keep. It's empty now because I've taken all the parts out and I've actually started building the kit, as I've said before. But it opens like this. Full of sprues inside, and there are two of them because essentially it's two separate HE-111 kits. My wife likes these boxes because you can use them for wrapping things like Christmas presents. Shirts and trousers and things can go in there, so she likes them, so I think she would be very happy if I continue to buy ICM kits. So, how much progress have I made? Well, I've made some videos already showing how I was attaching the canopies, so you might be familiar with these. This is how far I've got. You can see how they go together there. So it's going to be quite a monster, and I don't know where I'm going to put this when I finish building it. I may find a place to try and hang it on a wall. That's the plan. Talking about the canopies, which I filmed earlier, I've managed to fix the problems of getting this canopy properly fixed onto the fuselage. Still, I had some gaps left over here, so I filled those with some Vallejo plastic putty there, and then I've started sanding the joints in the construction here in the fuselage. So I've sanded here around the canopy where there was quite a substantial step there, but there was enough space there for me to get in with a sander and remove that step. But in doing so, I managed to lift the corner of this masking here. So I had some spares. So I managed to get that remasked. I've sanded most of the joints on this one now, here, and along here, and also on the top here, along that joint there. I actually think there's a panel line that runs along there, so I think I'm quite satisfied with that joint. The kit goes together quite well. What I did find when I was gluing the fuselage halves together was that the pins, the locating pins and the holes for the pins, they didn't quite fit well, so there was a lot of resistance there. So what I had to do was go along and open up the holes for the pins with a mini drill in a pin vise drill there. So yeah, I'm just going along preparing these before I move on to the next step, which is going to be riveting riveting in both senses of the word, because it's going to be a new task for me, so I think I'm going to quite enjoy it, but also because it actually physically is riveting. So the first thing I did was go out and I saw one of these in my local hobby shop, only 5 miles down the road. I'm quite fortunate that way. It's a good Saturday morning for me to go down there and browse the kits and the tools and paints and things. But I find this one to be quite flimsy and light, and I worry about wear and tear on it because it's made of plastic. So I'll put that one to one side. What I actually did then was to go out into my favourite online store here in Europe. That's Super Hobby, a shop in Poland. And I bought some of these Galaxy riveting tools. I didn't need to buy them all, I have to admit, but they come in different sizes depending on what scale of model you're working from 0.3 to 1.5 millimeters, and I think that's the spacing between the rivets on the wheels there. They come in different sizes as well in terms of diameter of the wheel, so you can see in this one there are large wheels and some smaller wheels, smaller diameter wheels, and also they come in a funny shape here, which I think is for getting into those awkward spaces where panels might come together at an angle, like a 90-degree angle or a similar angle. And let's see, how do you get into that? My desk's a bit cluttered. So they also have this funny shape here, which is just part of a wheel. Sorry, it's a bit dark up towards the ceiling of my room. My camera's a bit high. Yeah, so that's, I think, just for getting into those awkward shapes, like here, for example, where you need to get into the corners of where different planes on the model you're building come together. So I bought a whole selection of those because I'm sure I'll be using these quite a lot in the future. They come with some tools, a small Allen key, or umbraco noil as they call them here in Denmark, and a little wrench. And the reason why they send that is because the wheels themselves, they're bolted together with a nut and a bolt with an Allen key, so you can tighten those up when they start to come loose. And you can see here I've already fitted the 1mm rivet wheel, the small one, into the handle, which you can also buy separately from Galaxy Tools. And it fits quite nicely in my hand. It's quite comfortable for me to use. I've had a go with it already, with some plastic card. I quite like it. So yeah, I'm going to be using these for riveting my Zwilling. So in order to accomplish that task, the first thing you need to do is get some reference material. So I've got, well, I searched online for this. So you can see the riveting for the wing there, the top half of the fuselage and the bottom half of the fuselage. So that's the starboard side top, starboard side from underneath, and also you can see the port and starboard sides of the fuselage itself. You can see where all the rivet lines are, the panel lines on the model. So that's what I'm hoping to accomplish this weekend, or as much of it I can over this weekend. And to help me with that task, I went to the Briveco Holland website, or Netherlands website, and I bought some tape. This tape is 2mm thick, 5mm thick, 30 meters long. And the great thing about this tape is that it comes with markings on them, on the edge of the tape. And if you can see just there, you can see where the markings are, hopefully. Not too dark. So the 1mm markings along the tape, and I'm going to use this cut to lengths along the panel lines, so I can measure 1mm, 3mm, 5mm, whatever, along each panel line to figure out the start and end point for each of my lines of rivets. And I also got just some Ammo MIG scribing tape there as well to use as a straight edge. This stuff's quite expensive. Also, what I've been using previously for scribing is Dymo tape, which is also quite expensive. But what you can do with this is you can stick it to some masking tape, because it loses its tack quite quickly if you try and use it over and over again. So I stick it to some masking tape, and it stays on the masking tape, and then I can lift that off the model and reapply it where I need to. And the reason why I've bought these is so I don't waste too much of this, because I want to use this just for measuring, and then I can use this or these for the straight edge for the riveting itself. So yeah, that's where I am with the Zwilling. This is going to be my weekend's work. I will probably post another video to show how much progress I've made tomorrow evening, tomorrow being Sunday, before the American football game starts at 7 PM. Another passion of mine. So, well, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.